My name's Martin Daswell and I'm 56 years old. I've currently lived in the rented property in Rotherhithe since December 94. It's a beautiful area of London, and actually you don't even feel like you're living in London. In December 94 I was diagnosed HIV positive. This at the time was before combination therapy was around, so it was a death sentence. Then in August 1996, triple combination therapy was the way forward. And I was lucky enough to be the second person at St Mary's to be prescribed this combination therapy. The medication always works, but I suffer from a series of rather horrendous side effects, which include Johnson-Stevens syndrome, which is a skin rash and peel a whole layer of skin off your whole body. I also suffered an anaphylactic shock on another of the drugs. I developed an irregular heart rhythm on another of the drugs. I've also been diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and celiac disease. I've also been diagnosed with depression, which comes and goes and actually is quite common for people with HIV. I average 50 medical appointments a year and have done since 2000. Because I have treatment at St Mary's, Paddington, but I also have some guys in St Thomas's, and my GP is in Rotherhithe, South East London, in Southwark. It meant that not always did all the messages get through and all the results get through. So, because my background's of accountancy, I make sure that I get a copy of any results and I take them around with me. So any new consultant or doctor or any healthcare professional that I see anywhere, I go armed with all the latest results and paperwork. For healthcare, I believe it's a three-way street. There is my consultant, there is my GP, and there is myself. And between the three of us, we decide what's best for me. I am part of that decision making. I don't just, if they say to me, we want you to do this, I will want to know why they want me to do it, because if I don't think that's right for me, I'll say and we'll look at it again. I'm very, very lucky in that any new medication that comes along, unless I need to change from what I'm currently on, we don't, but I have access to a BNF, which is the medication book that all doctors and pharmacists have, and it's in fact up on my bookshelf over there. I'm lucky enough and they let me have their previous copy. I think patients come in many different forms and varieties. Some want to be involved in all of their medication, all of what's happening to them. Other people just don't want to know. Everybody has that individual right. But for me, if a GP is going to, or a doctor or a consultant is going to invest in time in me and help me to live, I have to invest the time in them and work as well. I cannot expect to receive everything without putting some effort in myself. I think the person that takes the most control will be dependent on what your condition is. I.e. with HIV, because GPs don't have as much specialist knowledge of HIV as the consultants do, therefore I believe they will still take more of a role. With the depression, I've had some really rather bad days. In fact, I went for a period where I wouldn't open my front door to anybody and I didn't let anybody in for 4 weeks. Part of the way I try and look after myself, both mentally and physically, is I try and at least have 1 day a week that I have nothing to do. And that day, if I want to, I lay on the sofa all day and do absolutely nothing. I also try and have medical-free weeks. So I might try and book 2 or 3 appointments in the same week, that allowing me to have what I term as my medical-free week. The manager of Boots in the local shopping centre has said to me, if ever you can't get out to do some shopping, give me a ring. She says, I'll pick it up. I only live along the road from you and I'll bring you some shopping home. So I am so lucky with my friends that live locally that if I do get bad times where I can't really cope, then I have access to the most wonderful support. At the moment, I'm coping. I would rather wait until we get to the situation where I need to have the help, rather than, it's not a luxury, but it would make life easier if I did have some, but I can still cope at the moment. I get the most wonderful healthcare, and so I think everybody should have the same facilities as I do.